Hello, I'm Janice and I hope you're all doing well. So package just arrived for me this morning. I actually ordered this like close to a month ago. So I ordered this in March, back when everything at the grocery store was very scarce. I've never ordered anything like this before and I was curious to see what it would look like. So I ordered a box for 2 people, 3 meals, and I used a coupon code as well because it was my first time doing it. Anyway, I'm gonna stop talking and let's just open this box and see what is inside. Okay, I think what we'll do is we'll just take everything out, take all the recipes out and just see what is actually inside. It did say the food will last anywhere between 2 to 5 days, so I won't be cooking everything in one go. I'll probably cook it over several days. But first things first, they have a chilled pack that has, like, I'm assuming the protein. We'll open that in just a bit. And we also have all the vegetables inside. So we have a sweet potato, we have sesame oil, we have a tiny packet of jasmine rice, a thing of beans, nice, cucumber, some spring onions, coconut milk, tomato, onion, a zucchini, and also a couple of carrots. And inside the freezer bag, we have some Hokkien noodles, we have some beef sausages, we have a thing of beef mince, fresh chicken breasts, and we also have 2 reusable ice packs. Perfect. And this was everything that was in the box. Now, just looking at this, are you able to guess which 3 dishes they came up with? If you are, pause this video and let me know your guesses. But if you don't, that's perfectly fine. We'll move on right now. Alright, I have printed the recipe cards and the first thing that we're going to be cooking today is Indonesian chicken rice. So on the recipe card, they actually tell you exactly what they've sent through, what you need in addition to what they've sent through, and the tools you actually need, which I actually greatly appreciate. And they have like a step-by-step guide as to how you actually cook it. So the first thing on the instructions is to actually prep the vegetables, and the second thing on the list was to cook the rice. But I decided to jump ahead and cook the rice first because that's what I do. I cook the rice and then make everything else. It just makes it a lot more efficient. Now, the instructions also said to rinse the rice until water runs clear and then to cook the rice on a small saucepan. Now, I don't think I've ever cooked rice in a saucepan. I always use my rice cooker. Now, because of old habits, I stuck to the rice cooker, which wasn't the best move. You'll see why soon. I added 100 mils of coconut milk and 200 mils of water per the instructions and then set it on the rice cooker for it to cook. Then I jumped back to the first step, prepping the vegetables. First, we gotta slice the cucumber. I've always been taught to cut off both ends and then rub it because otherwise the cucumber might taste bitter. I don't know how true that is though, and now that I'm saying it out loud, it seems kind of made up. Anyway, after the cucumber is thinly sliced, slice the tomato as well. And then throw the tomato and cucumber into a bowl. Next up, finely chop 2 garlic cloves. I know it can be finer, but that seems good enough for me. And after that, we slice the chicken breast. And yes, I'm aware how tiny that chopping board is. And I also realized halfway how inappropriate my knife was, so there we go. Much better. And after we're done with the chicken, we're gonna make our marinade for the meat. And what we do is we put in the garlic, the chicken, half the ayam goreng paste, 3 tablespoons of vegetable oil into a bowl, and then season it with salt and pepper. And then stir to combine. At first, I really didn't want to get my hands dirty, but that spoon really wasn't doing the job that well, so hands it is. And after a while, I really got into it. And all of that was just step 1. There are like 7 steps in the first step. I feel like this is what our MasterChef contestants have to go through when they get like a cooking challenge. I'm just kidding, how dare I compare myself to them. With all the ingredients prepped and the rice in the cooker, we turn to frying the chicken. And before we get stuck into doing that, we've got to bring a small saucepan of water to boil for the eggs. Then we start cooking the chicken a couple minutes on each side until browned. I waited a little too long and it was a tad burnt. this is how they turned out. It smelled amazing though. And once they're done, transfer them to a plate, and now we focus on the eggs. The eggs, well, they shouldn't take that much. Just put it into the boiling water, 6 minutes for soft-boiled eggs, 8 minutes for hard-boiled eggs. I didn't time mine, we'll just see how we go. Next up, we're creating a very light dressing for our tomato and cucumber, and they said we need white vinegar, some salt and some pepper. I don't actually have white vinegar at home, but I do have rice vinegar. And I think these two are relatively similar enough. We add half a tablespoon of white vinegar, which I didn't have, so rice vinegar it is, and half a tablespoon of sugar into a large bowl, season it with salt and pepper, and then stir. And then after that, add the tomato and cucumber and toss to combine. And my rice cooker has just signaled to me that the rice is done, so let's go and check out our coconut rice. The rice smelled really coconutty, but I'm not sure if you can see. The texture of it was a little bit sticky, meaning I'd actually added too much water. Anyway, I tried plating exactly like the picture, and here it is. All right, this is finally done. I'm gonna put it to the test. I had a look at my rice when it came out of the rice cooker. I think I was being a smartass when I said that I was gonna put it in the rice cooker instead of following the instructions, because the rice seemed a little bit more soggy than usual, which I think doesn't work in a rice cooker. The water needs to be less. But anyway, let's give the coconut rice a taste. Flavors of the coconut are very, very strong. It kind of reminds me a little bit of coconut sticky rice. Next time when I do it again, I'm gonna cook it using a pan instead of using a rice cooker. Actually, the sauce in the chicken is really, really nice. I really like that a lot. Okay, before I start completely devouring this plate, I do want to talk about the salad. It is actually very, very refreshing. I've never done a cucumber and tomato salad like this before, but I really like it. And overall, the salad, the chicken and the rice, if I didn't screw up the rice, it's actually really nice. And the portions are perfect for 2 people. So I'm gonna go and finish this, and then I'll see you for our next recipe on this list. We are back again, and this time we are making a beef noodle stir fry. So what they've sent us is beef mince, Hokkien noodles, sesame oil, carrot, zucchini, and spring onion. And what I need to get from my pantry is honey, garlic clove, vegetable oil, white vinegar, which I don't have, so I'm going to use rice vinegar, and also 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce. Seems easy enough. First step that we need to do is to prep the vegetables. Okay, so we need to cut the white part of the spring onion into 3 centimeter lengths. Yes, I do realize now this is more like 1 centimeters as opposed to 3 centimeters. I'm just gonna eyeball the 3 centimeters, which was not even close. Then we need to thinly slice the green part of the spring onion before quartering the zucchini lengthways. That cut could have gone a lot better, but hey, it all just ends up digested in our stomach in the end, right? And then we dice up the zucchini like so, and once we're done with that, we thinly dice the garlic. I gotta say, I'm really liking this knife, and I can't believe I never used it in any of my previous cooking videos. And once we're done with the garlic, peel the carrot, shred into a julienne peel. Oh, I don't have that. So I looked up what julienning means, and it means to chop up the carrots into really nice and thin pieces. It's like as thin as matchsticks. Excited by this new thing that I've learned, I started slicing the carrots straight away. And halfway through, I realized I forgot to peel them first. But it's all good. Better late than never, right? We peeled off as much as we could and then went back to slicing these carrots. Look, I too have never seen matchsticks this thick, but it is my artistic interpretation of matchsticks, and it's fine. They'll do. With all our vegetables chopped, that was just step 1, by the way. We now make our stir fry sauce. So we got to put the cute little packet of sesame oil, 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, 2 tablespoons of white vinegar, which we don't have, so we're using rice vinegar, 1.5 tablespoons of water, add some pepper, and then whisk it to combine. Vegetables are cut, the sauce is done. The sauce actually smells really nice. Now we got to soak the noodles for about 3 minutes and then gently peel them apart from each other.
In the instructions, they say to just put half the noodles into the bowl. But if you look at the packaging, it says that it's for 2 people. And since I was sharing this with my brother, who eats even more than me, I had full faith that we'd be able to finish this entire packet. So I didn't listen to the instructions again, and I put the entire bag in, boiled some water, and soaked these noodles in boiling water. We cooked the white part of the spring onion, the carrots, and the zucchini for 2 to 3 minutes until they were tender, and then we removed it from the pan. Then we added some garlic and the big slab of mincemeat into the pan using a wooden spoon to break apart the lumps or the clustered bits, whatever you want to call it, and keep doing that until it was browned. And once that was done, we threw the veggies back into the pan and added the stir-fry sauce and just kind of tossed it around until everything was very well coated. By now, the noodles should be separated in the water, but I think because I added the entire pack into a bowl that wasn't big enough, they were still kind of stuck together. But my stomach was growling, so I just put the whole thing in. This is just a very small and quick taste test. I actually added a bit more soy sauce after this, and then we plate and sprinkle a bit of spring onions on top, and we're done.
I do like the combo, the flavor's not too bad, although I think I could have made like more sauce for the noodles. One thing about Hokkien noodles that I'm not always a fan of is that they're really oily, but it's delicious. So overall, I'd say this was a success as well. We did end up having like a lot in the pan, so I'll probably save that for leftovers for lunch tomorrow or something. So I thought there would be leftovers for tomorrow's lunch, but my brother and I just ended up eating the entire thing. There's nothing left. I mean, yes, it was a bit oily, but it was still really tasty. So, okay, on to the next recipe. We are back for our 3rd recipe in this box, and this time we are making tasty beef sausages with, I believe, sweet potato and carrot mash. So what we need and what Dinelli has sent to us is 4 beef sausages, 2 beef style stock cubes, 150 grams of green beans, carrot, sweet potato, and 1 onion. And this time we actually need quite a few things. So we need olive oil, we need butter, plain flour, and barbecue sauce. I wasn't sure whether I had barbecue sauce, but I found some in my fridge. And I checked the expiry date. We've still got a while to go, so we should be good with the barbecue sauce. And first things first, we've got to prep the ingredients. There are like 7 steps in each of their step. It's like having one question and then having like 7 parts to it. Anyway, we are going to get started with cutting the onions. I've come prepared, and yeah, then slice the sweet potatoes and the carrots.
You can't see right now, but the glasses didn't help with the tears. This onion was particularly tear-inducing. That's me struggling. But don't worry, we got through it. Afterwards, we peel the carrots and sweet potato. It's actually oddly satisfying to peel away its skin and have the smooth sweet potato emerge. And once all the peeling is done, we dice it into 2-centimeter cubes. Not that I measured it, but just small enough and even enough so that it cooks evenly for the mash. Look, it's not perfectly even, but I reckon it's good enough. Now we aren't done with the prep yet. We still got to trim the beans, and I took that as just cutting off the top and the bottom. And then crumble 1 stock cube into a heat-proof jug before adding a 3/4 cup of boiling water into it, and then stir and just let it dissolve. And when that's done, we're gonna make our carrot and sweet potato mash. So what you gotta do is put the sweet potato and carrot into a medium saucepan of cold salted water and then boil it. Throw the carrots and sweet potato in it and let it cook for about 10 minutes. And when they're tender-ish, drain the water, season it with salt and pepper, add butter, and just mash it up. And next up, we fry these sausages. So add some olive oil and heat up a pan, and then cook them until they're brown all over and cooked through. See, when I put these sausages into the pan, 3 of them were stuck together, and I thought, I'll deal with them later. Turns out, as I was cooking them in the pan, the 3 sausages turned into 1 sausage, and for next time, you should separate them first, because when you separate them in the pan, they spray. And once the sausages are cooked through, take them out of the pan and we're gonna make the gravy, an onion gravy. So add the onions that we chopped and cried for into the pan and cook them for about 5 minutes until they're softened, and then add 2 tablespoons of plain flour. I think I added a little bit too much because I had to add water to this later. And then you add stock that we made earlier and also 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce and just let it cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. And as we are making the gravy, time to multitask and fill another pan with water and add it to the stove. This is to cook your green beans. It's pretty simple, you just chuck it in and let it boil. And once that's done, you're pretty much done. Just got a plate and then all
right, everything is done. This is the sausage and carrot and sweet potato mash with some green beans. These green beans, I think I did them quite well. I mean, all I had to do was put them in hot water, but they're really crunchy. But let's put these sausages and gravy and the mash to the test. I've never made gravy myself. Every time that I need a gravy, I just buy it from the store. But I don't eat gravy that much anyway. Anyway, this one actually tasted quite good. Overall, I'd say this was a success as well. Alright, and that is it for this video. Of all the 3 things that I made, I think my favorite was probably the Indonesian chicken rice. I really like the sauce and I really like the coconut rice, like the flavors. The texture could be a little bit better, but overall that is my favorite dish. If you're still watching, thank you so much for watching till the end. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, turn on your notification bell if you haven't already. I post new videos Tuesdays and Fridays, check them out if you have time. Have an amazing rest of the day and I will see you in my next video. Bye! I thought wearing glasses was going to help with cutting the onions. Usually that helps, but this time I couldn't stop myself from crying.